Welcome to Fields and Skylines Lottery Farmer Season 1, Episode 1. In every first episode, we always take a map tour of the map the series will be taking place on. And the map Lottery Farmer will be taking place on is called The Valley, The Old Farm by Black Sheep Modding. 329 megabytes to download. It's available for console and for the PC. The map boasts 93 fields, 18 forest plats, and is a very large map to play on. 18 full productions located throughout the map. The map uses the default growing calendar and has an additional crop type of alfalfa, which can be used to feed sheep and cows. The map also brings 2 new garden vegetables of red lettuce and melons, along with apple trees which you can plant to take your apples off to be produced into juice. When starting off in easy farmer mode, you get your main farmstead, which is down over here by number 94, and you get a secondary farmstead here that's 95. We'll visit the secondary farmstead a little bit later in this video, where you'll see there's a pig pen along with a field and some barns. On the main farmstead, you have a large cow pasture with a cow pen, some sheds, your farmhouse, a garden, a smaller field, and a larger field that you can plant crops on. All right, let's go ahead and take a walk around the main farm before we go visit the secondary farm. As you can see, you have quite a bit of storage area, quite a bit of land. Right over here you can see is the pen for the sheep. You can come up the main drive here and enter the farmstead through these nice green gates. To our left, we can drop pallets and bales, which will nicely be stored up top there for you. Each one of these drop points can hold up to 250 pallets and bales. Some of the kit that comes with the map, right over here, we have a small plow. We have a seeder with a harrow. We have a small, mid-sized tractor. Continuing on, there is a gas tank here that you can fill up with diesel so that you don't have to run back to town. It holds up to 10,000 liters of diesel, but you can put in different amounts, however much you want. Then we have another little garage, some storage areas. You can nicely store in here, anything, pallets or big bags, another place to store some vehicles. You have a workshop right through here where you can maintain your vehicles, change them, customize them up. Walking over here towards the farmhouse, on the right of the farmhouse, there's a chicken coop that holds up to 150 chicken, where they kind of free range a bit. Let me go ahead and purchase a few so you can kind of see them just wandering around the yard. You feed them right in this little bin here. The eggs load up on these 2 shelves. One thing to note, if you use auto load, not all of the auto load vehicles will be able to pick up eggs off this top shelf. One of the things that I've found. And there are just some chicken kind of roaming around the field. We'll take a tour of the farmhouse in a little bit. Let's continue the yard tour. Here's your main garage where you're going to keep your truck or your car or your main mode of transportation. Right here you have your grain mills or silos. They hold more than just the normal silos. They'll hold pretty much anything, including fertilizer, TMR mix, all sorts of good stuff road salt. Any of the mods that you put on the game will also be storable in here. So, and they're kind of hidden behind the wall here. When we get up top there, we can see them a little bit nicer. And we have another garage for storage, for vehicle storage, or equipment storage. Some sheds around the yard here. This is kind of the working part of the yard. Then you got some big bunkers here that can be used to make silage. You just can dump some shaft in, cover it, and have silage built. Nice, neat little feature to make it easier to dump. You can back your trailers up onto these nice little metal grids here and hit the switch, and you'll see these things raise up so you can back up really close and dump in nice and easily back here, making it a lot easier to dump. You have your main cow pen, holds 250 cows, which is really pretty. It's not the largest you can have, but it's really nice. The cows will then pasture out in this pasture here, and in the secondary pasture, which is on the other side of the road, there's a way for the cows to get down there by going under the bridge over here. It's really neat. It makes it feel very realistic. Very realistic on how a dairy farm or how cows would work in real life. Straw can go in here to collect manure. There is, you have to muck these out yourself. There is no manure extension attached to this. You feed the cows through here. Takes a lot of feed. 250 cows, you're going to be putting a lot of feed in here, a lot of straw. The milk can be collected right over here. I'm going to pop some cows out here just so you can see some of the grazing and get a feel for that. Let's go ahead and buy 10 cows. Slurry is gathered in the slurry pit right over here by this pipe over here. You can see the pit off to our right. Up top here, there is some more room for storing things. So there's a lot of places to store your equipment on this farm, as you can imagine. You'll have quite a bit of equipment to store once you're fully into this old farm with lawnmowers and tractors, harvesters, all the equipment needed to be able to do cows and sheep and chickens and even pigs up at your other farm. Up here is good storage. It's not part of the automatic storage, but you can put more bales or whatever you might want up here. To make things a little easier, you can lower these fences down or keep them up. I like keeping them up because that's kind of a little bit more realistic. Safety. And then those silos, I said we could get a peek at them right here. You can see they are all back through here. There's 4 of them covered up in this nice building. Tucked away nicely. All right, let's go take a peek and see if we can see some cows grazing or find a cow and see what that would look like. Yep, see there's some cows right there making use of the pasture. There's even one if you can kind of look across on the other side. So they'll randomly just walk through the pasture or be inside eating or whatnot. All right, let's continue the tour. Coming up next is kind of like the little back area of the main farmhouse. There's a patio and play set, and it just kind of makes it feel homey, along with a nice garden. And this is where I said the gardens on this map have added red lettuce and melons to go along with the tomatoes, strawberries, and regular lettuce. As you'll also see, the recipes are a little bit different than the main game, where you have to include straw, at least in this garden. There's more gardens that you can purchase on the map that as they get bigger, the cycles get better, and you can also add things like manure and dry fertilizer and pallets to help speed things along and increase. So that's the garden. One of the beautiful things about this map is just some details where you have this nice patio. You can just come here and just look out over the view. It's a pretty lovely view. So as you're sitting, starting your day or ending your day thinking about what needs to be met for the farm the next day, you can get this nice view while you think through what your day is going to be. So next to this main garden here on the right, we have the sheep pen. It'll hold up to 100 sheep. If we open it up here, you can place food. The wool can be picked up right over here. Then there's a nice grazing pasture for them. You can back your animal trailer up right through this gate to drop your sheep off, and away you go. As you see, they just graze nicely. They wander through. It's a big area for the sheep. It's a pretty nice area, and the main farm being able to offer you chickens, sheep, and cows, all part of the main farm, is just outstanding. You got more storage areas. This area in here, it's a little tight. Probably aren't going to be storing large tractors in here, but load all, telehandlers, smaller tractors, all work great in here. And then some more open storage for whatever kit you need. Here's a nice flat piece of land that you own that you can use to expand your farm, putting more sheds or other productions that might be found on a farm out here, or maybe even an area to plant those apple trees. And in fact, I'm going to plant an apple tree right out here just to give you the ability to see what the apple trees look like and what you need to do. So you go under production. The apple trees are under orchards, and here it is. I'm just gonna plop one down, and of course this apple tree, it needs water. All right, let's go in the apple tree production and take a look. As you can see, there's 288 cycles, $2 a cycle, and all the tree needs is some water. So it's another source, one of those great sources of very little work revenue. Excuse me. More storage here. Here you see a harvester. Again, it's your default main game starting harvester. Will work okay. One thing to point out about this map, though, is there are a lot of hills, and there are a lot of hills on this map, and you're going to want some large kit. In fact, that harvester, when you have to harvest this field, is going to struggle harvesting this main big field back here, because if we carefully walk through here, there's some big hills over here that harvester is going to struggle with a little bit. In fact, all harvesters will. Your tractors are going to struggle pulling things up and down some of these hills. So it is definitely a map where you will possibly want to get some big kit. Here are some fields close to your house. One thing to notice is a lot of the fields going around have this fence on it, and I find fences kind of get in my way. I have a hard time farming with fences. So the cool thing is you can turn them off when you're doing whatever you're doing, and you can turn them back on when you're done. Another thing to point out is this farm will allow for the mud mod. I don't have it turned on, but this road is muddy. This road is bumpy. So be aware if you're playing with those mods. You can get stuck in here pretty easy. So let's go ahead and take a look at what's in the house, and then pop in the truck and drive up to our secondary farmstead where we would have pigs. So the house is right up here. You can walk in it. It's nice. It's a nice game design. It's not fancy like some of the other houses you can have, but it's a good piece to have for like if you're just doing farming to farm, you're not going to take advantage of these rooms or anything like that. But like if you're doing a series like Lottery Farmer, it's nice to have these different areas that you can start scenes in or use for scenes. So right here you can change your clothes or customize your character. Right here you can advance to next day. Again, kitchen to go with the living room area. These doors are fake. They don't lead to anywhere. There's no bedrooms or anything like that. And then you can open up out to your back patio. All right, so let's go ahead, jump in our truck and drive up to our secondary farm. So as I drive, feel free to take a look at all the scenery here. It is really pretty scenery. Also, it will take you off of watching me drive. I am not a very good driver in the game. And take a look. There's some cows over on this side of the field. So you can see some of those cows grazing over here. This is the bridge that they can walk under to get to the other side of the pasture, which is really nice. As we go around, you can see there's some mix of grass fields mixed in, along with regular fields. As you know, having a lot of cows, you're going to need a lot of grass to do what you need to do for silage to make, your cow feed. So right up here is our secondary farmstead, gated as well. So I'll just kind of slow down. Hop out, open the gate, come back in. So here we have again some more open sheds. You have your pig pen. You have your pig pen right here. Very similar like the cow pen, except for it's a little smaller. You feed through here. Pop it open. You can pick up your slurry right over there. Excuse me. You have a nice shed that will house some more equipment or whatever equipment you might need, or some food or whatever you want to keep down here. You put your cow, or you put your pigs in right through here. Let's go ahead and buy a few. As you can see, they're just going to lay around. It's just like with the cows. They'll go out and wallow, and then they'll come into the pen to eat and do their business. New farmer also starts off with a field. This field right over here as well. So it's your third field, 3 fields to begin with. So this game really sets you up nicely, at least from the standpoint of fields and buildings and storage space for stuff that you don't have to worry about expanding too much up front. The big thing you have to worry about is upgrading that equipment and getting all the needed equipment that you'll need to be able to farm all these types of things. And here again, you can see those hills that I talk about all throughout the map. that can easily tax small and mid-sized equipment. But that makes the game fun, right? It adds, like, flat land is great, but the world isn't flat, so it's a wonderful map. Now I'm gonna leave the truck here for now. I'm gonna jump up to town, or I'll drive up to town so you can see what that looks like. As I drive up to town, we'll pass the lumber mill and the furniture factory. I'll try to point those out, but we aren't going to visit those places. I'm just going to show kind of the town, and then one of the sub-town areas, but I'm not going to show all the different productions. They're on the map. But there are all the ones that you would like to have are definitely here. So as we're driving up here, the lumber mill and all that is off to the left here, right in the middle of all the wooded areas, which is kind of nice as we enter the main town on this map right here. In the main town, there's restaurants and there's, French fry factories, gas station, milk, the animal farm, all sorts of places that are going to take your goods. Off to the right here are the special gardens. So that garden that we have is a small size garden of like the gardens that they have here. As you can see, there's a bigger greenhouse. That's the one that's going to need the manure, fertilizer, and pallets to go with these two smaller gardens that just need pallets to function, and straw, of course. Same crop, same vegetables can be grown there. Up here at the top is the store. Nice thing to point out about the store is you can park right up here. You can go in the store to do your shopping, right? What are we gonna buy? Let's go buy a bale of fertilizer. We don't have anything to do fertilizing. Again, I don't have any mods loaded, just so you can see the map in base form. So these are just the basic things. I'm going to go ahead and buy this cheap one, the smaller, cheaper guy. What's really cool about this map is where they put the reset point. So we just bought this. When we come out here, the pickup place for all newly purchased items are around back, way around back here. So let's say you're on your farm and you lease something or you need something. You have to drive all the way up here to get it. And it's a bit of a drive. It could be a hassle. But one of the nice things on this map is where they put the reset point. And I don't know if you make use of the reset bit or much or not. But, I'm not the greatest farmer. So I sometimes knock things over or make things where I have to reset them. So to reset them, you just select it. And then on the Xbox, you hit the Y. Asks you on reset it, say yes. And the cool thing, the reset point on this map is all the way down by your main farmstead. So it'll put it right on this main road, kind of like where you spawn in New Farmer. And that's where you can pick things up. And it's a time saver. I know it's not realistic and realistic farming and all, but it is definitely a time saver when you're just gaming for fun. And it'll just bring it right down there. So up top here, let's just open up the map again, zoom out a little. So up top, you can see you have most of your productions, store, the animal dealer, dairy, there's gas purchasing up here, a couple restaurants, the French fry, you got your BGA over here. Like I said, this is your lumber productions. Over here you have cereals, oils, and juices. The raisin fat production, where you take your grapes and you get grape juice and raisins. You can also take your apples and you'll get apple juice. And then down in this far corner here, I'm just going to teleport here just to show some of this real quick. So you have your bakery. It's your normal bakery. Bring flour, eggs, and you can get your breads. But I just love how these buildings look just like any old town that you might find in Europe or There's beautiful detailing. And then right over here you have a pizzeria, which is kind of special to this map, where you can take goods to be sold, tomatoes and stuff, whatnot. That's the drop off. But yeah, you can take things like tomatoes here or cheese, things like that. It all takes. All right, but it's a neat little thing. They have a nice little sitting area up top where you can pretend to eat pizza and look out over this view here. It's another thing I like to do. So as you can like, I have a job where in real life that I don't want to say is so super stressful, but it is one of those things where sometimes you just want to game, and sometimes when you're gaming, you just actually want to just be part of an atmosphere that's relaxing. And so sometimes I'll come and just kind of hang out, pretend like I'm having pizza, and overlook this view. Because wherever I live, I do enjoy pizza, but there aren't many pizza places that have a nice view of beautiful hilly mountains. It is an outstanding view. So that's the pizza, and just take a look at this beautiful buildings. Just it's a nice little neighborhood. It's like an outer town, to the main town. Nice parking area, a little play area for the neighborhood kids to play in. It's just the details that Black Sheep Modding did to bring this map out is just, it's amazing. The details. So the other shop around here is the spinnery, of course, where if you have sheep, that's where you'll be taking your wool. They'll make clothes. One thing to point out, the driving on this map, if you're hiring drivers to drive, sometimes takes some pretty interesting routes. As you can see, it also has some custom cars. So this auto here is kind of custom to this map. It's pretty, a European older European car, to go with the theme of that old map feel, hence the name, the valley, the old farm. But yeah, so sometimes the AI driving isn't the greatest, and it'll get lost or take ways that are unexpected. So, but yeah, there's a lot in this map where you can use it the way that Lottery Farmer will be using it, as kind of a role-playing series adventure for our hero, the lottery winner. All right, so I am going to jump then back into the map and quickly let's go up and show the grape juice. So here's the grape juice. Again, it looks just like the normal grape juice processing plant from the normal game. But like I said, the only addition to it is the ability to do 80 grand. So let's see. I will sell my fertilizer spreader, which I just bought. And I will buy this. So let's go ahead and pop in here, turn it off because we don't have anything. And just so we can see the apple recipe. So 5 apples gets you 4 juice. That's pretty nice. Return. Everything else here is the same. And let's kind of take a quick peek at what we can sell apples for and what we can sell juice for. So they're going to be towards the bottom. So if we look here, melons, lettuce, you're getting around 5,000. Melons, you can get up to 6,400, 5,600. So those aren't too bad of products. There's a pallet factory on this map too. You can build pallets, though I don't think you can. Well, you can sell them, I guess, at the farmer's shop, but you can also take them to the greenhouses and use them in the greenhouses. Apples, Um, Looks like you can get almost 6,000 for it, and I don't even know if this is a high season. We're in August, so this isn't even the highest. The highest is at 6,700. Let's go up. Lettuce high point is 54. 67. French fries you can make a lot of money on if you want to go down the potato route. Not a bad route. Apple juice. So this is a new product that you can get from the bakery if you own the bakery to sell. And then apples. Looks like you can get about 2,000 at the max for an apple versus almost 6,800 for the juice. Not too bad for production. Alfalfa on this map, 216, which is probably alfalfa hay, 286, compared to regular hay and grass. You know, almost $100 more than regular hay and grass. So the products that they've added to this map could be interesting. Could it be add extra financial gain for you if you're playing normal farm simulator or farming? So it's really, really great opportunity to explore some different production chains. And again, it's just your oil mill, grain mill. Up here you have a lime factory you can buy for $1 just so you can get lime if that's where you want to go to get your lime all the time. And another mill. All right. So as you can see, there's also some grasslands all throughout. And the other interesting thing about this map that I didn't really show, I'm going to zip back over here and then walk up here. So if we go up the map just a ways, there is, throughout this map, the creators smartly, I don't know if you played this map on Farming Simulator 19, but they've took some of the fields and some of the other secondary farms that you could choose to buy if you were playing, not new farmer, but, you know, medium or hard difficulty. And what they decided to do is they just made flat land areas that you could turn into places to put other productions. These areas are fairly flat. Like, this is a very hilly map. And if you're like me, where landscaping is a little bit difficult because you're on the console, these areas are great areas for you to build up if you want to build your own farm here, or I'm going to go in construction mode just to get a higher up view. But it's pretty flat. You can put other productions in that you might like to play with, like if you want to bring in the soy or any of those other productions, build in other pallet or bale storage type things in here, or just it's big enough where you could build a farm, another farm, if that's what you want to do. And this is just one of these areas. They've created quite a few of them on the map that you can make use of. So here's one of them. I'm going to zoom out a little bit just so I can point out some of the other ones. One's right here. You'd think one is kind of right here that's a little bit smaller. Our greenhouse is right over here. Let's go ahead and zoom out. There's a little area here. I think this one might be a cow pasture. No, 22 I think is the cow pasture. So yeah, they also have separate pastures throughout the field, the map as well, that you can buy that are just set up for you to be able to put cows or something in. So the creators were kind of smart that way to help people out when they're building things or not building things. So that is the tour of this lovely map. I hope you stick around for Lottery Farmer Series. It will be a fun time. Again, I want to thank you for watching. If you like this video, hit the like button below. If you are interested more in Fields and Skylines, please subscribe. And as always, please comment below if you have any questions or just want to add anything. Thank you. Have a great day.